So yeah, so tell us who's the personnel on that cut there?
Red Garland, Paul Chambers, and Tootie Heath, Albert Heath
Ah,
from the Heath
yeah.
Brothers. Mind you, that's on Coltrane's first album as a leader. He just went through the crucible of becoming clean, which is a terrifying, nauseating, horrible, life-changing terror of a thing to go through. And that's his. He got his first record date, and he's clean and he's back. And right away, that doesn't sound like a normal tenor saxophone. That sounds already like that's somebody else. And the way the notes hang there, so vulnerable, like Miles is able to do that comes from a deep spot, man. He never takes the bait on like playing a bunch of flashy harmonic shit like a lot of guys would. He delivers the ballad like it sounds like you can feel the nostalgia, you can feel the romance. It sounds like people from the 1940s scene listening to this music, smoking cigarettes at a speakeasy, kind of intimate and kind of snugging with each other. It's something timelessly beautiful about it. He's playing all the hip chord change substitutions while he's at it, so he sneaks them all in there. And then Red Garland comes in with that classic Red Garland technique that he uses. He plays whatever melody note you're playing in the right hand, you play 1/5. You play octaves with the fifth in the middle. So sometimes you get these kind of eerie notes that are out of the key, and that's the Red Garland thing. I don't know what else to call it. It's funny because on that session, there's another pianist on a couple of the tunes. You're like, what? Red Garland can't handle it. You got to farm in somebody else. Like Red Garland's not badass enough. But it must have been like Mal Waldron's feel for a couple of the tunes on that session, so they had to get him on there. And then at the end, Train already plays a unique harmonic thing that Bird never played right before the fermata. And then he plays classic Bird ending major 7 notes. Those are like straight up Bird.
Hmm. Well, yeah. I mean the romance, the nostalgia, the and that image of beautiful woman Lana Turner going down the New York street, going to the flower shop, getting the violets pinned to the fur coat. You can't get any sexier than that.
Yeah, yeah. And it sounds so like, it's got like that New York, famous New York nostalgia. I don't know what you call it. I don't know, like in the autumn, when the weather's starting to turn a little crisp and things are getting a little melancholy, and there's something wonderful about it. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to put on a fur coat first time of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, and the next cuts we're going to play are written by Monk, and he captures that feeling in Ruby My Dear and Monk's mood. Like he's able to tap into this like Manhattan skyline thing like nobody's business. He's the best at it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things about the songs and standards, where do they come from? Well, a lot of them came from Broadway shows,
Yeah.
Tin Pan Alley songwriters, professional songwriters in New York, and so a lot of the tunes we're going to hear are some of these classic ones that have been covered 400 times, 1,000 times.
Oh yeah.
Stardust, Lush Life,
Yeah.
tunes like that.
Yeah.
But also, we've got a couple of now original songs by Thelonious Monk that have become standards in their own right.
Oh yeah.
And the first one we're going to play is Monk's Mood. And this song has been covered by so many different people, from Roland Hanna and George Mraz, Jack DeJohnette, the Zawinul Syndicate, Mark Roberts, Steve Grossman, and Cedar Walton, Sonny Fortune, Wynton Marsalis,
Yeah.
Dave Liebman.
I mean, it's a jazz standard. You got to play Monk's Mood.
Yeah, yeah.
you got to tangle with Monk's Mood. It's a brilliant composition
Yeah.
when you really get to the intervals.
Yeah, and so that lists up to the modern day, Brad Meldau. I mean, everybody has to tackle this song, and
Yeah, of course.
so let's give a listen to Monk's Mood from the album Thelonious Monk with John Coltrane.